Hi everybody, welcome back to Shaken Not Stirred. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit about traveling, with my experience at least with traveling with Parkinson's. So, this is the first time I've taken like a long trip since being diagnosed. So it was definitely interesting, totally doable, totally manageable, but definitely some new experiences than I've had before traveling in the past. So the first thing, even before I left for the trip, I don't know if it's Parkinson's related or medication related. I have had all this water weight diagnosed in my face, in my body, especially in my abdomen, and my legs, just like swollen. The way I was sort of looks like when I was pregnant, just swollen with water weight. So when I flew, it was very uncomfortable. My legs became even more swollen. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're experiencing that as well, that you'll probably be a little uncomfortable on the plane. Also, I was really nervous because, as we all know, with Parkinson's, you have to pee a lot, and when you have to pee, you have to get to the bathroom really fast. So I was a little bit nervous on the plane about how that was going to go because, sometimes you have to wait. So I was pretty nervous that like something would happen, but luckily it was okay. It was manageable. I did sort of find myself restricting fluids on the plane, which probably wasn't the best idea, but it did make me feel more comfortable, just kind of to soothe my anxiety about that, about having to use the bathroom all the time. So I did notice that I seemed a little bit dehydrated when I landed, but I just made sure to re-up on more fluids when I landed in our layover, and then again when we landed in Maui to drink a lot of water. What else? Oh, so there's a lot of time changes. So I did find it was a little tricky kind of to figure out, should I keep timing my medication the way I would if I was at home, so kind of timing it that way, or should I just go with the flow and kind of just switch to kind of island time? And I ended up just switching to island time because it's easier to remember, instead of having to set alarms and do all that. For me personally, kind of continuing the timing wise when I would have taken my medication in the time of day instead of the exact time it would be at home, was helpful. I did miss a couple doses, I think, on the plane ride over just because I was sleeping, or it was kind of tricky to figure out then. So that's just also something to be mindful of, and hopefully you'll do a better job of it than me. But it didn't really seem to affect me all that much, other than I noticed obviously my tremor being more present when we landed, and some cramping in my arm, just because of the missed doses. What else? Traveling with Parkinson's. So I did notice that on security check, everyone does ask, are you nervous? Are you okay? And I thought for sure I was gonna get pulled out of line and have them check my bags, just because, my arm is shaking, my leg is shaking, and I look like a nervous traveler. But they didn't end up pulling me, but I did get asked a couple of times, am I cold? Are you okay? Are you feeling nervous? And I just said, oh no, I have Parkinson's. And they said, oh, you're so young. So it was something that I was hoping wouldn't happen, but at least I didn't get my bag opened. So just something to also keep in mind, that you will probably have to maybe have someone ask you, are you nervous? Are you okay? And to sort of prepare your mind for the answer maybe you're gonna give. And sometimes there was a time when someone asked me if I was cold, and I just didn't want to talk about it, and I just said, yep, I'm cold, I'm always cold, which is true, I am always cold. So also just, find out what you're comfortable with, because sometimes you don't want to say I have Parkinson's to everybody, because there is sort of that reaction that you get back, and you sort of have to be prepared for that reaction as well. But overall, I found traveling with Parkinson's pretty easy. I think also it was the destination. When I was there, I honestly don't think I thought about having Parkinson's except when I had my medication on, and during the hikes. So during the hikes, I did find there were some really uneven surfaces, some steep pitches. I jumped off a few cliffs, and you had to climb up some lava. You had to climb up some mountains. And I did find that my balance, I noticed, was not where it used to be. And I think I haven't been in a situation in a long time where I was sort of testing my balance in that way. So I did notice a big difference in terms of my stability, my balance, feeling stable, like when you have to walk through these rivers and the ocean, if there are rocks that are moving, I felt so unstable. I thought I was gonna fall a couple times. I didn't. Luckily, my husband was there, so I could balance off of him. But just sort of, that was a really big difference for me. And so something that I sort of needed to be more aware of than in the past, where I could just do all these things and not have to think about it, just for my own safety. But nothing stopped me. I think that was the big thing. If I wanted to do something, I was determined to find a way to do it, and I was always able to find a way to do it. So that was really wonderful, really great. I was nervous that maybe there would be something that if my body couldn't do anymore, and so far I was able to sort of figure out ways to do it, which was amazing. I think those were the big things. I did find my stomach, just with like digestion, I tried to sort of eat, I've been having a hard time processing meat. Fish is usually okay, but I love cheeseburger. I love meat, so I'm sad that I'm not processing it as well. But so I sort of tried to stick to a vegetarian diet, still eating cheese and milk and eggs for my protein and nuts. But I just, whenever I, like, one day I was like, oh, I just really want a cheeseburger, and I did it, and I did regret that. It like made me immediately feel so sick and ill. But that's just me personally. I don't think that that is necessarily true for everybody. Also, we did a long car ride, and I did find that I was getting motion sick now. We had to stop a couple times, but we still were able to make it. But that was something new, so I'm not sure if that's just with my age, just getting older, because I know that does happen, or if that was Parkinson's related. But all in all, I didn't find anything that stopped me. It's just sort of, I have to be more mindful of medication times, listening to my body, knowing that I might need some assistance on the hike. So I would say if you were hiking, if you are doing things like steep pitches, uneven ground, that you probably don't want to do it alone. You would have someone there with you. That was kind of my biggest takeaway from this trip, that if I want to do a big kind of like nature adventure where I'm going to be climbing and pushing my body, that I can't really do it by myself anymore, that I'm going to need to have someone with me. Which, you know what, it's always fun to share experiences with people, so that's not a bad thing. But there's always a way to find, there's a will, there's a way, and I definitely have a will. So I think that for anybody out there who's thinking about taking a trip, maybe thinking, can they do it anymore? I think you can always figure out ways to maximize experiences and find a way to make your trip suit you. I don't think there's anything that should stop you from traveling with Parkinson's. You just might need some more assistance. You might need some different trails. You might need, just to figure it out. But there's always a way to figure it out. So as always, I'm sending everybody so much positive energy, so much aloha. I just wish I could stay there forever. So thank you so much, Maui. Mahalo, Maui. And thank you to everyone out there who's listening. I'm sending so much positive love, so much positive vibes. And thank you again. Bye, everybody.